coming up. For some, watching porn is a bit of harmless fun. But for others, it can become a dangerous addiction and can even take over their life. Tonight's guest started watching pornography from just 7 years old and grew up feeling confused about sex, even fantasizing about his own relatives. After struggling in silence for years, he found the strength through faith to open up about his addiction and seek help. Now he's a changed man. Stay tuned for the full story on the miraculous power of faith.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finding Answers. Now, we are returning to a topic that is very sensitive to some people. Some people are actually embarrassed about speaking about this topic. Others think it's normal. What am I talking about? I'm talking about porn. And, you know, porn, as we all know, you can find it everywhere nowadays. Children can access it on their mobile phones. It's free and it's damaging people. It's affecting people's lives, even their mental health. Marriages are being broken because of addiction to porn. We can relate porn or make it as equal as a drug addict, a drug or alcohol addiction. That's how bad things may be. So maybe you think to yourself, I do watch porn. I don't have a problem with it. Well, on tonight's program, you're going to see that you do have a problem. Maybe not so bad, but it can escalate and it will definitely get worse. Before we speak about this subject, let's have a look at a real life story of someone who used their faith.
It was impossible for me to break free of the drugs as I was surrounded by drugs. I was not only taking drugs, I was also selling drugs. I was dating drug dealers. Everything around me, all my surroundings was to do with drugs. I had no normal life. My life was based on all kinds of drugs and alcohol. So for me, this was an impossible case. By coming to the church, I soon learned how to have strength, and I was taught how to use my faith, and putting the two together, I was able to get rid of this addiction. It didn't happen overnight, but within the first few weeks, I already saw changes, and the impossible case became possible.
So, welcome back. If you just joined us, tonight's topic is all about porn addiction. And it is possible to break this evil habit. If you find yourself addicted to porn, it's something that you look at, you go again to, you feel really bad for looking at it. But then you end up going back to it time and time again, then you have an addiction. You know, if you're hiding it from family members, and who watches porn unless you're a group of friends that watch it? But maybe it's your secret. You watch it in the evening at night time when no one's around. You know, you sneak onto the internet, you watch it on your phone, and you know it's not right. You know something's not quite right, because the slight sound of someone entering your room, then you've already planned to how you can hide those images on that screen. So that in itself is proof that it's not normal, it's not right, because, you know, if it was okay, you wouldn't mind who would come in and look at you watching it, actually. So we're going to be speaking more about this. With me tonight is Rachel. Good evening, Rachel.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Well, thank you.
I think it's interesting what you're saying about porn, and it can be as bad as a drug or alcohol addiction. I mean, although there is an argument that watching pornography can help people to kind of watch their fantasies rather than actually playing these out in real life, there's actually mounting evidence to suggest that extensive exposure to pornography actually increases sex crimes like rape and abuse. And research shows that people's brains are wired to repeat what they see. So the more often that you see something, the more normal it becomes. So those who watch violent porn are more likely to deem it acceptable and to imitate it later on in real life. And one study in America showed that states with the highest readership of pornographic magazines also had the highest rape rates. So the dangerous thing today is that children are being exposed to porn at such a young age, and it gives them unrealistic ideas about sex. Again, this is such a young age that these things can become ingrained very quickly and can then lead to a whole generation engaging in unhealthy sexual relationships later in life. Now, this isn't to say that everyone who watches porn is going to become sexually abusive, of course, but it does highlight the problem with something which is becoming more and more normal and accepted in society. I don't know if you agree with this tonight, Pastor Michael.
Yes, I agree with it 100%. And, you know, it starts off at a very young age, just like our guest this evening will be sharing his experience. And it's not just men, as we know. Females over the years are getting more and more involved in it as well. And maybe you say to yourself, well, I'm not, as Rachel said, I'm not going to go out and rape, go out and commit a sexual crime. But as the more that this addiction affects your life, the deeper you will want, the things you watch will become more grotesque. And that's why there are people that go out and do, sexual crimes, commit sexual crimes, because the habit gets stronger and stronger. You want, the female body. Now, it doesn't feed your craving. Now you want something else. And it continues and it grows and it grows. That's proof that is addiction. Just like people smoke cigarettes. They start off with cigarettes. Then when that doesn't do anything, they go to, normally, weed. And then when the weed doesn't do it, then they go to cocaine. They go to some tablets. Then they go to stronger drugs. And that's proof that porn is an addiction. Because you don't just watch the same things. You want more and more and more. And it gets more, I can't find a word for it, but more dirty, if I can say that. So if you have this problem, if you know that you can't look your wife or your husband or your children in the face and say to them, I watch porn, I have nothing against it, I'm completely fine with it. If you can't do that, then you have a problem. And we're going to help you, and we're going to show you how faith can help you to beat this. How it's a spirit that works to control you. We've had extreme cases of people. It's not just about watching. They can't control themselves. We're going to find out how faith, on this program tonight, how faith can help you beat this evil addiction. Rachel, if this person would like help, if they want to give us a call, if they want to contact us in some way, then how can they do so?
Yes, do give us a call. Of course, it will be completely in confidence, and you can call us on 0207 686 6300. If you prefer to write to us, you can send an email, and you can email us at help@findinganswers.tv. You can also address this to a specific presenter or pastor, and they will reply directly to your email. Maybe you would rather get in touch over social media. You can always let us know what you think on every topic. If you want to comment on our Facebook posts, just look up Finding Answers. Maybe you want to look us up on Instagram and see the behind the scenes footage. Again, it's Finding Answers. And if you want to look up any old videos, just look up the YouTube channel Finding Answers, and they're all there.
Society says that porn is normal. It's okay to watch porn. It doesn't do any harm to anyone. Say that to the wives of husbands, girlfriends of guys who watch it and then want to do the same thing that they see with their spouses. It is not normal. That's not how relationships work. You know, and I know, they are actors and actresses that are paid to perform, right? And it's not what sex between two people is all about. It is staged, okay? It is staged. They have to do a lot of things in order to get that shot, so that I would say DVD, it's not DVDs anymore, but to get that movie online sold, just to meet people's habits. It is not normal. Society says it is, it's not, and it will not help you if you're going through problems in your marriage in a sexual way. It's not going to help you. We're going to find out how you can get real help after this break.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort and homework from you.
We're DKW, a different kind of woman. So I want to find out if you might have dyslexia.
My memory's not too good today.
And it's almost like you have to be this superwoman.
Years and years ago when I watched Titanic, and obviously My Heart Will Go On came on, and it just brought me back to that time.
And I was with 4 other sisters. Lord, have mercy. So you know how they were. You're not gonna go over there and say nothing.
Come on, a little closer now, and let me know that you're mine. Woo!
It's going to be your turn to do your macaroons. No competition.
We're here at Britain's Top Designer 2015.
This is DKW. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Hi, I'm Chrissy B, and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. If it's just now that you've joined us, then tonight's program is It Is Possible to Break Porn Addiction. Now, you may say to yourself, Michael, have you ever watched porn? Yes, I have watched porn. It was a problem in my life, in my teenage years. But I learned through faith how to break this cycle. So, you know, I believed it was normal. It's a thing that guys do. You have fun, you have a laugh. But then it got serious. It got more than just having fun with the lads. So I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I will never be perfect. But what I'm saying is, if it's affecting you, you can get help, all right? We're not here sitting on our thrones and pointing at people and thinking that we are better than anyone. No, sometimes the things that we've gone through, we've overcome it through faith. And we want to help you, just like our guest comes on the program, wants to share their story as well. So let's meet my guest for this evening. His name is Nilton Geddish.
Pushed me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Nilton, welcome to the program.
Hello.
Also, we have in the studio Pastor Christian.
How are you, Pastor
How are you doing? Okay.
Good. I'm doing good. Thanks.
I'm going to ask you this. I know you won't be embarrassed, and our guests won't be embarrassed. Did you have a problem with porn? Have you ever watched porn?
Watch porn? Yes, absolutely. Like you said, you know, it's like a part, you know, of let's say, you know, when you grow up, you are introduced to it because of school classmates, especially high school, isn't it? So.
And speaking of high school, or should I say a bit younger, Nilton, your addiction to porn started probably like most people at a very young age. Is that correct?
Yeah, very young
How
age.
old were you when you first started watching it, and how did you start watching it?
Well, I got introduced to pornography when I was around 8 years old. Around 8 years old, by the DVDs that used to be around my house. And
obviously they didn't belong to you.
Of course not, of course
right?
not.
So there was obviously someone in the family.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started watching, I got introduced to pornography at that time. Well, I would see the DVDs and try to look out to see what they were all about, because I would see women's on the cover. And so I would play these DVDs and watch it. And at the time, I wasn't really understanding much, but it was something on the videos that I was watching that was pushing me to want to be part of it too, for some reason.
At 8 years old?
Yeah, 8 years old, 8 years old. And of course, I had some colleagues at school that they would speak about pornography, and I was reasoning that what they were talking about was what I was watching on the TV. And yeah, it was by the age of 8 years old that first.
So that's how it started?
Yeah.
So I take it that, did your family know what you were doing?
No.
Did anyone catch you watching it?
No, that I remember at that time, nobody catch me. Nobody.
But when you first actually watched it, you were on your guard, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
And where did you learn that from? That's the thing, we inherently realize this is not something that's good.
Yeah.
We need to hide it somehow, right?
Because I mean, from that age, 8 years old, I've been on the earth for 8 years old, and I never knew that women could be naked on their way, and the men could be touching them on their way as well. So it was something different for me, because I don't see normally. So me, myself, I could assume that was wrong. Yeah. That was wrong. So yeah, that's why I was kind of hiding and making sure that no one was finding me out, watching that type of stuff.
And the thing is, at school, now your friends are talking about it. Yeah. Are you that age where you were allowed to have phones in school? Your friends?
Yeah, my friends were allowed. I didn't have a phone at that time. Me personally, I didn't.
So were they showing things on their phone?
Yeah, they would show on the phone and talk about it. Hey, look at this, look at that, look at that. And because I didn't have a phone, so I was like, okay, this is a bit extreme for me, but I know what is this now.
But I take it that you want to go home.
Yeah, I want to go home,
look at these things
and get to know more. Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't just stick with the DVDs. Did you have internet at home and stuff like that? You would.
No, it was mainly the DVDs. It was mainly the DVDs. It was the internet. Internet was a bit later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how did that make you feel? Because, you know, there's a time you look at two people having sex, then you're not just going to look at it and then think, okay, and switch it off. Right? You're going to be having thoughts in your mind, right? When you go out, as you get older, you're going to be fantasizing, you're going to be having those images of women and probably having your own movie in your head about what you could do with other women. Was that the case?
Yeah, that was the case. As I got older, of course, I start to see women a kind of different way. I think by the age of, 12, 13, 14, around that time, I was already thinking of trying what I used to see on TV with women. And there was actually a time, I think I was 9 or 10, that I had one female friend. Our family used to be close to each other. Right. So I remember that I would go to her house in the afternoon when the parents weren't around, and I used to actually try with her. Because I think she was actually also watching pornography. So I used to try.
So you were 9 years old?
Yeah, 9 years old. And I used to try with her.
Right.
until one day we actually got caught by one of the parents, her parent, and yeah, it was. I was pretty embarrassed. I was embarrassed because I knew it was wrong, and she knew that it was wrong. And
you knew it was wrong, but you didn't stop there, though, did you?
I didn't stop. I became embarrassed because then I realized that what I was doing, the pornography, was wrong. I became embarrassed. I didn't stop. I continued to watch. I wasn't practicing with anyone afterwards, but I continued to watch. Yeah, until the age of 14, when my mind was getting a bit more. I was getting older, and my mind was seeing things in a different way. And then I go to secondary school. There was a time that I go to secondary school where pornography was open subject. Sex was an open subject between my friends. So I had the internet at the time, so I was going to the internet, and my friend used to have the phone. I used to have my phone as well. We used to watch together, and I think that was the time that really the addiction kicked in.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did it get worse for you?
Well, it got worse when I started to masturbate. That was the moment that things got very extreme for me. So I start slightly, once a day, and then twice a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week. Then before I know, I realized that I was doing a couple of times throughout the day. And my mind was already getting very distorted. I would picture myself having different girls and having sex with different girls. Also to brag to my friends that I did that, and that I did that move that I watch over there. And that's when. So you were acting out what you saw actually with girls. Yeah. I would imagine, but I wasn't acting. I was just imagining. Yeah.
So you see, Pastor Christian, how things escalate, right? It's not just something that's normal. At one level, it gets worse and worse because scientists even say that it has a big effect on the brain. It has.
It's like, in the beginning, it's like, Nilton, it's like curiosity, isn't it? Yeah. But after some time, it's not curiosity anymore. You were saying that scientists says something about pornography and brain. And it's true because, there is this chemical in our brain, the reward center, dopamine. Yes. When there is something pleasurable, something nice, so dopamine floods our brain, floods our body, and we feel good about it. But there's the problem in this. As time goes by, it's not the same dose. High. High. It's like addiction, just like addiction. You need to increase the dose. You have to do something. Look at what happened with him. In the beginning, it was just out of curiosity. Even you were saying about, the times you would do it, but it's not enough anymore. Yeah. And there comes a time that it's in the brain. Every day it would consume him. He would think about, this all the time, and it affects people.
I've heard of stories, real people, who have this addiction to porn. Males that, they can't take the urge. They have to actually go and masturbate, and it hurts when they masturbate. And it's something that's meant to be pleasurable, ends up being painful for them, and they have to release themselves in order to release the pain that they're going through. That's how bad it becomes, and you're thinking, wow, how come? How come people are being affected in this way?
So they are hurting themselves
if they don't masturbate, they're going to feel pain.
And what about, Pastor Mike, I know we're going to be talking about this more later, but you see, just this part, you can already see how it affects even married people. Just imagine how the situation is between couples. Yeah. When this is a problem, this is a real issue.
Maybe you're watching this program now, and you have an addiction to porn, and you're hiding it from your spouse. Or maybe your spouse has caught you. They know what you're doing, but yet you can't control your urge to watch these things. You know that your partner's not happy. You want to make them happy. You said, I will stop watching pornography, but you end up going back to it again. Now, think about it. I've said this before many times. you know, there will be some, actually, I'll probably wait to the end of the program, right? So something that we can round off the program. But if you say to yourself, I need help, my relationship is falling apart, my family are falling apart because of what I do, I can't control myself, then we have a number that you can call. You can speak to one of our advisors. And if you want prayer, maybe you know someone, your son, your daughter is involved in these things, maybe to the extreme of they want or they are actually pornographic stars, for example. They watch or they have home movies. They make home movies of themselves, which many young people are doing now. They're recording themselves and posting it up on the internet, degrading themselves. And then millions of people worldwide watch them having sex, right? Where do they learn it from? They learn it from these famous stars that all of a sudden their sex tape has been leaked. Yeah, right. Just to get fame and fortune. So these young people are doing the same thing. What is it doing to our generation, our younger generation? They're watching on their phones. So what's going to happen in the future? We're going to find out after the break how Nilton was able to break his addiction to porn, okay? And if you want help, stay tuned. We'll see you after this.
Where DKW a different kind of woman. So I want to find out if you might have dyslexia.
My memory's not too good today.
And it's almost like you have to be this superwoman.
Years and years ago when I watched Titanic, and obviously My Heart Will Go On came on, and it just brought me back to that time.
And I was with 4 other sisters. Lord have mercy. So you know how they were. You're not gonna go over there and say nothing.
Come on, a little closer now. And let me know that you're mine. Woo!
It's going to be your turn to do your macaroons. No competition.
We're here at Britain's Top Designer 2015.
This is DKW. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Follow My Channel's updates on Facebook. Like your favourite videos and see pictures of your favourite artists. Access our Twitter @MyChannelUK and get to know what's on with My Channel. Visit tvmychannel.com and be connected to our world. My Channel, a whole new world of entertainment.
If I tell you a story, and you like that story, what kind of story is it?
It's a comedy.
No. Manchester
United.
I'm a pro.
Although I'm Chelsea. Love talk, time to communicate.
Okay. Say that word, but differently.
It's time to communicate. Right, so we are in a relationship.
What were you doing? You're not supposed to tell me the word. We are in a marriage.
Yes.
Okay.
And we are very serious about it. So what does that say?
A serious marriage.
No. It has to do with your brain.
Intelligence.
What?
Intelligent love.
Yes. See, I'm getting good at this.
Love Talk on My Channel, Sky 203, every Saturday, 3 p.m.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort, and homework from you.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, before we go back to Nilton's story on the subject of porn addiction, let's have a look at Rachel with Through Faith, It's Possible.
Hi and welcome to another week of Through Faith, It's Possible. Now in this section we like to inspire you at home to show you just how faith can change the course of your life. Now today I have Anna with me. Hi Anna.
Hello.
Would you like to tell the viewers how your life was before you found faith?
So before faith, I used to have a really low self-esteem, but I didn't see it as low self-esteem. I just saw it as something normal. Obviously, there's things that happened whilst I was growing up that made me be that way. The things that I heard and, you know, that got told to me that wasn't good enough and things like that. So I grew up in a way where I shelled myself from the world, that I was stopping myself from doing things, from the normal things, like for example applying for a job. I'll be like, oh no, I don't believe that I can get this job. Or for example in relationship, I'll think that everyone is good enough and I'm not good enough. So all these things, and through faith I was able to build my self-esteem, to now going from not believing in myself to believing in myself, to believing in my abilities and being a complete different person. You see that after you believe in yourself, doors opens as well. So
it was affecting every area of your life then?
Yeah, it was.
Who's the Anna today? Tell the viewers who you are now.
Well, I'm a more happy, confident person. I believe in myself and my life is moving forward through faith, yeah.
Yeah, this is amazing. If you too want to find out how you can change the course of your life through faith, please do get in touch with us. You can call us at any time of the day. The number is 0207 686 6300. That's 0207 686 6300. So do get in touch. There's always someone here to help you. And if you're suffering from any problem, maybe you have a low self-esteem, just like Anna used to, you can see from this example here that it really can change and the impossible can become possible. So tune in next time, but for now we'll go back to the studio.
So welcome back. Now let's go to Nilton and find out how he was able to beat his porn addiction. So Nilton,
right.
You know, before I asked you how you did it, what was the worst point in your porn addiction?
The worst point of my porn addiction, I think it was the time that I was actually, because I told you that I was, in my mind, I was already visualizing women on a very sexually lustful way. And it came to a point that I was doing that to also family members.
Really?
So my auntie, my cousins. So I think that was the point that I knew there was something very wrong with me and I needed help.
You needed help?
I needed help.
Okay.
I needed help, and also the masturbation, the desire, the addiction was increasing time after time. And then I noticed that I wouldn't be able sometimes to sleep without masturbating.
Right.
Or I would be in a public place and I would have to go to the toilet because I had that strong urge to do it. So I would have to go there and...
In a public place to masturbate?
Yeah.
Right.
In school, or I remember even during my work experience, I was doing a work experience back when I was in year 10. And while I was doing the work experience, the forces just came to the mind. I was looking at some of the people that I was working with, and I remember that I had to go to the toilet. I was going to the toilet various times throughout the day just to masturbate. So I knew there was something terribly wrong with me. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't do it.
And your case is not an isolated case, because I personally, I'm sure Pastor Christian, you've spoken to male and females who have had the same kind of problems as well, right? And not just with our line of work, but there are a lot of other people out there as well, definitely, who are going through the same thing, but it's your dirty secret that you want to keep, you know, underneath hidden. Nilton is brave enough to come on because he's beaten it now. And he's not ashamed to share his story and to help you watching at home to also find a solution. Of course, that's if you want, that is. So Nilton, tell us how you found help in order to beat your addiction.
So how did I find help? Well, my mom, from an early age, I used to go with her to a spiritual center. We used to go back in Portugal, my home country, and when we came here to the UK, she was going there too. So I kind of knew that the spiritual center would help people with any type of problems that they had. Including porn? Including porn, yeah. So at the time, I knew some people from the time that I would go there. I knew some people from the youth group that was located within the spiritual center. Okay. So one day I decided to call one of the guys that was on the youth group. So I spoke to him and he invited me to go to the youth group to see how it was. So it's me going there and just seeing how the energy of the youths were, that they weren't talking about pornography, that everything was quite different with them. So I wanted to know what was the solution that they had for it. And I remember that I spoke to one of the people that used to work there, one of the pastors that used to work there, that he gave me counseling about how to solve the situation, how God saw the situation, how did he see the situation. So through speaking to them and through exercising my faith, developing my faith, I understood that what I was doing more damage than I could imagine within myself. So it was, I used to be very insecure also. I didn't mention that, but I used to be very insecure. So the pornography, it was what was making the insecurity grow. And yeah, speaking to the pastors over there, getting counseling from them, it really helped me. And
so you were told that this can be beaten?
Yeah.
Did they tell you, is this something that you have to do physically, spiritually, or both? Both.
So mainly they told me that it was a spiritual problem. Right. There was a spiritual problem that I was having, because that desire that I was having, it was not normal. It wasn't really just from me. It was something else.
And you could connect with what they said because, as you mentioned, this is not right what I'm doing, how I'm feeling. Why is it getting worse and worse? Why am I doing it X amount of times during the day in certain places? So you kind of connected, right? There's something not right.
Yeah, I definitely connected for me, because I knew I didn't want to do it, but something was pushing me to do it. Okay. So for speaking to them, they told me that it was a spiritual problem.
So prayers helped at that spiritual center?
Yeah. Well, prayers helped me a lot. That's why I can say that actually solved the matter for me. But it was also physical, as you said. So I had to make a decision that I would stop watching porn or stop getting to the things that would lead me to watch pornography. So
I'm sure there are guys watching, maybe females, saying, but how do you stop? Yeah. No, you're crazy for stopping. But how did you stop? I
stopped because I used to hear about people that used to have the same problem, and they managed to stop. Right. So at the beginning, I didn't believe that I could stop, because the urge was so strong for me, so that it would be more than my own strength, so I thought I couldn't stop. But for hearing speak about people that managed to stop and managed to overcome the problem, I started to believe that I could do it also. The power was within my own hands, so I could actually stop watching the pornography. So I remember there was a day that I made the decision that speaking physically, that I'm not going to watch porn anymore. I'm not going to go back to my laptop. I'm not going to check the website. I'm not going to watch movies where I see naked women and stuff like that. So it was at that moment that the change happened. Of course, the desire was still within me, but because I was doing the exercise, the sacrifice, the physical sacrifice, not watch there anymore.
I would say, Pastor Christian, it's self-control.
It is.
Right? When you don't have this self-control, of course, you're free to do whatever you want. There's an impulse, there's an urge, of course. You're going to go and do what you're going to do. You're going to feel guilty and bad afterwards. But I think the prayers that helped him gave him this self-control. When he had that feeling, he said, no, I'm not going to do this.
That this self-control is something that he doesn't have before, to the point that it would affect his work, it would affect anywhere you would be, right? But from the moment he learned through faith that it is possible, because like he said, he used to be insecure as well, so one problem after another. But through faith, he learned that he can actually solve this, and this is what happened.
Faith is like, you know, imagine your battery running very low. We know how it goes. And you're trying to make that last call before it, or send a text before it goes off. Faith is like, it gives you that power to say no and start using your faith, start doing things that you weren't able to do before, right? That's what faith does. So if you want help, Nilton, before we round things off, Nilton, you've beaten porn addiction. How long have you not watched it?
It's 2.5 years now.
2.5 years. And you've never gone back to it again?
No.
Is there a desire to go back?
There's a desire, no. There is no desire.
There's no desire?
There's no desire.
I mean, thoughts may come.
Yeah, thoughts come.
But you have this self-control. No.
But my self-control just seems that it increases out time after time after time. So right now, I know I'm in control of my own decision.
Yeah. And how are you today? What are you doing in life now?
What am I doing in life now?
Yeah.
Well, I'm studying. I'm in university. I'm doing social sciences. In the university, it's my second year, and I'm going to my third year. And I'm doing quite well in life now, quite well. I was working, but I had to give a little break for the studies.
If you had this porn addiction still, do you think you would be where you are now? Would it have affected your studies at all?
It would. I would just be in a very depressive place. And of course, if you are depressed, it will affect all the matters of your life. So I wouldn't be able to progress with anything, I believe.
Nilton, thank you very much for coming sharing your story with us, all right?
Thank you.
After the break, we are going to, myself and Pastor Christian, we'll be discussing more about this subject. And if you want our help in prayer, then we want to help you. It's possible to beat porn addiction, okay? Get a glass of water ready and at hand, because at the end, we'll be blessing this glass of water and you will drink it. And by faith, we believe you'll be free. We'll see you after this break.
DKW, a different kind of woman. So I want to find out if you might have dyslexia.
My memory's not too good today.
And it's almost like you have to be this superwoman.
Years and years ago when I watched Titanic, and obviously my heart will go on, came on, and it just brought me back to that time.
And I was with 4 other sisters. Lord have mercy. So you know how they were. You're not gonna go over there and say nothing?
Come on, a little closer now. And let me know that you're mine. Woo!
It's going to be your turn to do your macaroons. No competition.
We're here at Britain's Top Designer 2015.
This is DKW. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Follow My Channel's updates on Facebook. Like your favourite videos and see pictures of your favourite artists. Access our Twitter @MyChannelUK and get to know what's on with My Channel. Visit tvmychannel.com and be connected to our world. My Channel, a whole new world of entertainment.
If I tell you a story, and you like that story, what kind of story is it?
It's a comedy.
No. Manchester
United.
Ah. I'm a pro.
Although I'm Chelsea. Love talk, time to
No,
communicate.
okay. Say that word, but differently.
It's time to communicate. Right, so we are in a relationship.
What were you doing? You're not supposed to tell me the word. We are in a marriage.
Yes.
Okay.
And we are very serious about it. So what does that say?
A serious marriage.
No. It has to do with your brain.
Intelligence.
What?
Intelligent love.
Yes. See, I'm getting good at this.
Love Talk on my channel Sky 203 every Saturday 3 p.m.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now joining me is Pastor Christian. Good evening, Pastor Christian.
Good evening, Pastor.
We see that porn addiction is damaging on all aspects, right? Our physical, our mental, our emotional, our spiritual well-being.
Yes, it affects, and like you see, it has many complications. But we have to understand. Maybe some people who are watching us, the viewers right now, they think that but having these thoughts, it's evil. Then it's a sin. We even had a topic about this before. You have to understand, Pastor Michael, I believe you would agree. We were created by God as sexual beings. Mm-hmm. So having this thought, it's in our blood. All right. It's necessary. This is necessary because if you do not have attraction, how can you get married? I mean, what would you do, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So this is normal. But what is not normal is the example that Nilton gave, because in his case, it's no longer something natural. It consumes him. There's no self-control anymore. Yeah. The problem is that to the point that. You see, he even thinks about the family members. And now you tell me this is normal.
Yeah. As Pastor Christian said, sex is a normal thing. The feeling, it's normal to have sex with someone, one person that you love and you care about. Society said it's normal to sleep around, but that's why we have STIs and every other kind of mess that goes along with it. God wants us, He's created us, as Pastor Christian said, as sexual beings. That's why I have our sexual organs. We must enjoy, sex with the one person that we love. However, as we said, it's not wrong for you to have this desire, but when it's in a controlled environment, and that's what we're talking about. When you lack the control, when you cannot control your impulses, then there is something wrong. And that's why I mentioned about the spiritual, because when you find yourself, and we're talking now about addictions in general, we're homing in on porn addiction, but when you find yourself not having control over yourself, then there's a root problem, and we can go back to the spiritual. If you find yourself, sweating, you find yourself, getting angry even, right? If you don't watch porn, you become angry. You're losing your friendships, your relationship with other people because you're always in front of a TV screen, right? The laptop, the phone. You have to get your craving. You're craving for it. And if you don't watch it, if you don't, release yourself, then you're being affected by it. It's going to affect you. It's going to affect people around you. And maybe you have people around you, close people, your family, that know there's something wrong. We want to help you tonight. Pastor Christian, God wants to help this person. But of course, for that to happen, they must have this desire to want help and see it as something not normal, that society throws at us, that it's normal, right? Yes. Society wants to desensitize us into thinking that, pornography, it's okay, it's normal, it's guys do it, right? Girls do it, it's natural.
Yes. My friends, the thing is this, like Pastor Michael is saying here, you know, you need to admit that this is bad for you, because you can be your own judge. All right, it's not about us. It's not about you know, what people tells you. You're gonna be following what anyone tells you. Be your own judge. See, like for example, you know, if what you are doing is affecting you, you have no control. It's affecting even your marriage. Pastor Michael, this even affects marriage, isn't it? And you know this. Nobody has to point fingers. You know this. Then what you have to do is to admit that there is something wrong and that you need help. Like he said, you need to open up. Maybe you need someone to talk to, right? Maybe you are keeping this to yourself like a secret. It's like this is subject, Pastor Mike, is like a taboo, is it? Yeah. People don't talk about this because as if, you know, it's something, you know, don't talk about. And by not talking about it, doesn't solve it. What you need maybe is to open up, to speak. And you will not be judged by what you say. In fact, when you humble yourself and you ask for help, then you will receive help. Isn't that what's written in the Bible? You said, ask and you will receive, seek and you will find, isn't it?
Yes. Knock and the door will be opened unto you. So if you want help, we're going to give you the help. But before we go for the prayer, think about that woman, that man that you are watching on that screen. Now imagine that woman was your grandmother. Imagine that woman was your own mother, was your sister, was your father doing those things, or those people doing it to your relative. How would you feel? I'm sure you wouldn't have a smile on your face. I'm sure you would feel disgusted if it was your relative there. So why should you watch someone else's mother, sister, daughter on that screen, right? Think about this as we go for the prayer right now. If you want our help, get your glass of water ready because it's time for prayer. My Lord and my God, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, I enter in your presence now with all the viewers at home. And I especially pray for those with an addiction to porn. What started off as just fun in the beginning, now, my God, this person has been suffering. Their relationships have suffered. Their marriage, their family, even their physical health has suffered, is suffering because of it. My Lord, this person who can't control themselves anymore, then it's not only a physical problem anymore, it's a spiritual one. And if there is a force at work that is controlling this person who has this urge, my God, to watch things that are not normal. They even have to hide it from their loved ones because they will feel embarrassed if they're found out. My God, you want to give this person a happy life. You want them to have peace. You don't want them to be addicted because, as we said, porn addiction is like a drug addiction, an alcohol addiction, or any other addiction that controls a person. My God, if there is something at work inside of them, then we know that prayer works. And I intercede on their behalf, and I ask you, my God, to bless this water, this simple glass of water. And when they will drink it, whatever has been controlling them inside, those thoughts, their mind bombards them, my God. Their thoughts bombard their mind. My God, this person who can't even sleep at night. This person, my God, who feels dirty and feels guilty. But then they go repeating the same thing time and time again. My God, I bless this glass of water now. And when they will drink it, remove now, cleanse their mind from all filthiness. Cleanse their mind, my God, their hearts, their desire. This person who shakes, my Lord, uncontrollably. My Lord, remove this negativity from their body, from their spirit, and give them now this self-control. Help them, my God, to end those bad relationships with people who will not help them. Help them, my God, to say no when that feeling and desire comes to them. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. This water is now blessed. Now drink it and be cleansed be free from this porn addiction in the name of Jesus Christ. So there you have it. One more prayer that we believe has worked for you that really want to change. We always believe that our prayer, God hears and He will answer those who really have a desire to change. Now, it's up to you. Maybe you're one person, right now it's nighttime, and you flick channels and you're going to watch certain channels. Then it's up to you now to say, no, I'm not going to watch these things anymore. It's in your hands. The prayer's been done, but God is now waiting on your response. But I believe if you are really serious about beating this porn addiction, then you are free right now, okay? Until the next time, have a wonderful evening. God bless you.